Information on the Yankee Army, they'd leave. See,
Yeah.
they done that through up into the spring. By springtime, they were all mated into not infantry but mounted cavalry, scouting. They weren't the fighting cavalry. They were to get information on the enemy.
Okay.
There were muskets that fitted were carbines, and the guns were accurate for several hundred yards, while the Confederate weapon was not accurate. See, so they could go in and engage the Confederates and get out without any trouble. They kept doing this down past Knoxville, Kentucky, clear into Tennessee. Can't think of the name of the town right now. And they camped there shortly after the Confederate Army had moved out, gone south. And they made some good friends there because there's Northern sympathizers there.
Sure.
Then early one morning, they sent two troops, soldiers out. One with Granddad had about 26 men under command of a captain going towards little town Dayton.
Dayton, okay.
Or Dalton, down Tennessee, see. The other was Chattanooga. Sent another troop down there. There's a Y in the road. And this is before breakfast even. It took out. They hadn't gone very far until the captain in command of Dad's scouts was shooting over on the southern road. He started to go over there because he figured the other lieutenant was in trouble. He hadn't gone very far until suddenly his three advanced scouts came back and said, "There's troops coming." Well, there was about 200 of them, came down the road, didn't stop for Granddad or anybody else, and was shooting at them and everything, till right through into town. Of course, they took in out Granddad and outfit, took in after them. They captured reconnaissance vehicle, which was used for first aid, and about 12, 15 men. And they were kind of fighting right there at the edge of town when here the three scouts he had left cover the rear said, "There's more troops coming, Confederate troops." He turned and says, "Well, we'll give them hell anyway," because he's sandwiched. So he started back after them and says he could outshoot them. They retreated till they got into some woods. They dismounted and he was out there in the field. See? And while he was engaged fighting them, those 200 men who'd already gone into town, they accomplished their mission. They united with Chattanooga bunch, turned, and came back toward Granddad. So he's sandwiched between about 400 men. He could outshoot them, but they were outnumbered.
Greatly outnumbered.
Henderson, I believe, was the captain. He said they'll never take him alive. Sure enough, he fell mortally wounded. And as he's getting off the horse, some soldier right next to him says, "You can have my horse." He thought his horse had been hit. He says something to the effect, "Keep on fighting." And another fellow was left mortally wounded on the field, and Granddad had a pistol wound in his leg, and several of the horses had been wounded, and of course they were just entirely surrounded, and about 400 men to about 22 or 3, and they surrendered. They marched most of that same day into Dalton. This Dalton. Got in there that night. They gave him a spider, which is a 3-leg kettle, some cornmeal, and told me they cooked their first meal they'd had all day. They didn't even have breakfast.
Sure.
Next day they put the outfit on a train, and it took them about 2 days to get to Richmond, Virginia. And they went down to this island with the outfit in which were already quartering a bunch of Northern troops as prisoners on it. And they went through a clearinghouse, which was made rooming officers and supply and mail, stuff like that. All the enlisted men was put on the island. And the security wasn't too hot then. And Granddad and 3 others put in $5 apiece and made an attempt to bribe one of the Confederate soldiers. Just be looking at another way at certain times.
You bet. You bet.
Well, the book says, which I read out of it, and I think it is a diary, says the soldier took the $20 and Ike too. They put him in solitary confinement for almost 1 month. While in solitary confinement, this little annex was built onto the back end of a bakery. He cut a hole big enough in the wall between the logs here to get his hand through, and could reach bread, bakery there. And in the daytime, he'd plug the thing up again. Well, when he left there months later, two different fellows in a diary reported he was one of them said he's as fat as a hog when he came back to the island. And the other said he's the fattest man in camp. So he's doing pretty well because he had rations of his own, plus the ones they gave him.
Was that lucky? Probably one of the best things that happened to him being put into solitaire,
well,
under the
was.
circumstances.
By that time, there was a certain amount of adversity suffering the Confederate Army. And they sent him to what later became known as Andersonville Prison. It was almost 1 year to the day from the time he was mobilized till he was in prison at Andersonville, or captured.
He didn't fight very many days, did he? I mean, what I mean is he was captured pretty soon into actually getting into...
Well, he spent the whole winter making these scouting
Oh,
detours.
was it? Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And then, all right.
he had almost 9 months of that, contacting the Confederates.
Okay, I didn't read it.
But since he could outshoot them, they wouldn't take a stand, see. On their march down there, he told about going through trenches and places where the Confederate and the Union Army had fought the year before. And
When they were taking him to Andersonville?
no, before they were captured.
Oh, all right, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, down in Andersonville, the commanding officer was almost a sadist. He made up his mind he was going to kill more men than Robert E. Lee's army.
Yeah.
And he proceeded to starve them to death. Some people, historians, say, well, you couldn't blame the Confederates too much on it because their own men were starving, didn't have clothes. They just gave them whatever they could get a hold of out there. But others disagree with that. They had cornmeal, which is, most of it had corn cob and everything else ground right into it. And it wasn't ground too fine neither. And they'd come in there with a load of that and dish it out to the soldiers in camp. I think at the maximum there was something like 33,000 men on 30 acres. And that included a stream which ran down through the camp with polluted water in it to begin with, what they had to drink. And those who weren't fit, Granddad's unit had mostly farmers in it, and they were more or less used to hardships. People who lived in town didn't fare too well. However, out of that 26 men that's captured there, I think there's only 2 of them died. And yet Granddad, for example, lost half of his weight, something like 180 down to 90-some pounds. In camp, they always slept 2 men to a tent. They had the body heat of each other. They slept there summer and winter, you know. They also had to protect their property because everybody was survival depended on anything they could get a hold of. So one fellow would watch the tent while the other would go out and get the water or the food. Well, towards the end of the road, when Sherman was marching to the city, Confederates thought, of course, Sherman would deviate some 30 miles, I guess, down to Andersonville and turned all his prisoners loose, see? And so they made steps to move them out of there. So one morning they got word that all able-bodied men marched down to their train. They were going to be prisoners traded with the North. The sick and wounded will come later. So it only took about half a dozen soldiers to guard the few thousand who were down there, see. They all went willingly. And they lived all night. They knew they were going the wrong direction, but they thought they were going down to some harbor on the night coast, see. Take a ship and go north. Next morning, when they woke up, they were surrounded with hundreds of Confederate soldiers, put them into a new prison down there. Sherman, however, wasn't going to be bothered with men that couldn't fight. He was marching hard right into Atlanta. So he just bypassed them. Later on,
that couldn't have been too good on the morale, but there was any morale left.
Later on, he was traded to the North, and he and his buddy got their first good meal. And so Granddad says he told his buddy, don't eat anything. Take soup and nothing else. His buddy says, oh, by God, he says, I starved long enough. He had a good meal and died that night. Granddad...
Stomach couldn't take it.
It didn't have the willpower to resist food. Granddad went to Jefferson Barracks, I guess, or St. Louis anyway. And there, because of that wound, he'd suffered a year before, year and a half before, he was sent to someplace in some hospital down in Columbus. They didn't do anything much for him, but he was gaining a little strength. And there he was discharged about 3 months before the unit was discharged. So he wasn't discharged as his own unit. He went back to Stark County, where his dad was still alive or living. And I guess his brother David was still there. He taught school for 1 year. And by that time he had strength enough to travel. He went back to Kansas, tried to reclaim his old, I guess 80 acres of land that he was homesteading on.
Right.
And by that time, there's another fellow moved in and said, you've lost your claim. He says, I lost it on a good cause. And he said, I'm going to get it back. And when I was a kid, I remember 2 dugout places on a pasture.
Uh-huh.
They worked, I don't believe, 25, 30 yards apart, where both of them had their home.
Oh, is that
A
right?
sod home there.
Uh-huh.
And both of them were determined to outstay the other. They were a stalemate till one night Granddad came home and started to go into the house, had a dog with him. The dog bristled up and growled. Granddad went out there, sat down, hollered at him. When I got out, "Know you in there?" He said, "If you want to come out alive, wave a handkerchief. If you don't do that, I'll get you in the morning." After an hour or two, this fellow came out. Granddad said, "I don't ever see you in this place again." So Granddad had to claim when they know him.
He got it. He got it.
Yeah.
Dad, just for the records, if anyone else would go to visit Andersonville like we do, I want you to give them the name to look up because his name is on the records of Andersonville as being one of the prisoners.
Isaac Newton Dalrymple.
And they'll bring out the records and they'll bring out some copies of when he was mustered out, I think it was. That's down, didn't I say that's what was down there and some of the other records? We have copies because you were good enough to do this, but
Looked the War Department, and they gave me the full history of him one time. When he was first captured, he was carried as AWOL.
oh,
Those 26 men was absent without leave. And finally, after they got down to Richmond, or that island there, the War Department, Confederate War Department sent a list of their prisoners. And when I was looking at the morning report, that they sent me copies of the morning report, it changed from AWOL to prisoner.
I was going to say, don't we have copies of where it said he was AWOL for a while? Actually have copies?
Yeah, for 2 months.
Uh-huh. That's what, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I remember seeing that on the paper. That they had copies of.
What the heck is going on here?
Well,
That's
that's
part of
interesting.
history.
Huh?
That's part of history.
Well,
That's what brought, we
Yeah.
heard you talk about it and it brought it so close to home when we were able to go through Andersonville and everything you said and gave us goosebumps.
2 different people have told me during that time when the water was so polluted, a spring sprung forward in that camp,
Uh-huh.
and it had fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
One fellow was down at Mount Carmel writing his history. He told about it. My granddad told about it.
And they have it on a plaque there at Andersonville.
They do?
Uh-huh. There's a fountain there and they were talking about this is where, you know, a new one sprung up as an answer to a prayer.
Yeah.
When you think about it all, it's really a miracle we're here today. That, you know, that he was able to live through all that and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
start all this.
That's where I'm only guessing right now, where he got the fight. Not in Anderson proper, it might have been.
Oh.
But at the close of the war, when Grant demanded every able-bodied man go to the service,
Mm-hmm.
he emptied all the Coast Guard who'd been sitting there doing nothing.
Uh-huh.
People came in up from the coast with their dress uniforms on, they getting ready to go on leave. One fellow even brought his little boy along, a boy,
Uh-huh.
and he went down there. Well, they were not used to hardship. They never had
Yes.
hardship. And they looked at these people die, and darn it, died with them. Just-
Emotionally couldn't take it.
Yeah. Supposedly, Dad traded some biscuits that he had for that fight. I don't know
The
whether he got
silver
it
fight.
at Andersonville at the close of the day
Uh-huh.
or the new prison when they go in the new prison. But anyway, one time he ran a kind of store in that Andersonville prison, trading buttons for this and buttons for that. Confederates loved to get buttons off the uniform.
He was a survivor.
Huh?
He was a survivor.
Yeah. And he had the buttons, and he'd trade with them there at the wall.
What would he trade for? Would it
Huh?
be food or other tradable items?
Yeah.
Or?
Quite often they trade buttons for a bone, anything, edible. Things.
Some soup or...
Yeah, anything green.
Yeah.
And apparently he got food that way a little bit.
When we were down there, there were still parts of escape tunnels that so many people had tried to dig to get underneath the big fence.
Yeah, one group was carried up tunnel. They got clear under the fence, and these piles dropped down in on them. Yeah.
The ground got so weak. Dad, wasn't there more to that five story? Wasn't that a five that they played Yankee Doodle?
Oh yeah, he was in a little log cabin there. Again, I don't quite know where that was, whether it was in Andersonville or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it was on that island because the Confederates took everything of value 2-3 times. See? So it must have been near the close of the war. But anyway, he was, Granddad was sort of a musician. He really got it, and he enlisted. That was his alternate wish to get into the band.
Uh-huh.
So that all adds up. And they played Yankee Doodle, and somehow they had tied to a string that pulled up the logs in this little cabin. So you have to assume that was right towards the end of the war, so you could, I think anything had wood in it was burned up a long time before that.
Didn't they play it and the guards would come to try to find out where it was coming from, and that's why they pulled it up and hid it?
That
They
is
just
right.
kind of aggravated the guards a little bit because they never could find where that was. Kind of passed it around, I was
Yankee
thinking.
Doodle.
Hid it. Yeah. That's what I was thinking I heard.
I think that's probably a true story, because get down to the nitty-gritty, Granddad brought the fight home, and it's almost pure German silver.
Uh-huh.
You can almost scratch it. And he gave it to Dad. I don't know why, because I guess one of the kids got his diary. He divided things up.
Mm-hmm.
Dad gave it to me because I was the oldest son,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave it to Joseph because he was my oldest son. So Joseph's supposed to have that fight now.
Does he have it now?
Well, he had it when I was down there.
I'll bet he's got it then.
Yeah, 1981, 82, he had it. I don't think he'll ever get rid of it.
And when we were down there, he had it too.
Huh?
And when we were down there, he had it too.
He did,
Yeah.
Where else visited? Pat said that you told her a story one time about Pinkertons and a cousin that was shot.
Say it again?
Pat said one time you told her a story about Pinkertons and a cousin that got shot.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think I've heard that. So
yeah,
that's
that
all
was
I
a long time after the war. In fact, that was after World War I. You're getting down up to date. But my cousin Sidney was kind of a pervert, sadist, I mean.
Uh-huh.
I
Another
don't
black sheep, huh?
Huh?
Another black sheep, huh?
Well, he wasn't exactly that. He was just a sadist.
He had a problem.
He was just a Chicago boy, rough and so forth, but smart as a Dickens.
Mm-hmm.
He came out the farm where my granddad lived. Was some of the listen. I remember one time he took an end gate rod and sharpened it into a kind of like an arrow point.
Uh-huh.
Went down by on the creek, and the turtles would bury down in it to hibernate for the winter. And he jabbed down through there and thought water was bloody.
Oh, my.
Another time, my granddad had a wind-broken horse. And he rode that thing till we could hear that horse squeezing for about a half a mile. Just because he wanted to hear it squeeze.
He was a sadist.
Another time he, up in the hay mow, had some prickly pear cactus on a string, hitting the horse on the hind end, just to watch him kick that stall. Another time he took an umbrella apart, took the stays out of it, sharpened it, made arrows, and shot it into the chickens to watch them run. Would you call it a sadist?
I certainly would. I think you.
So after the war, his first chance to enlist in the army, his mother wouldn't let him join. I think he's 16 then, World War I. He finally persuaded her, as Aunt May again,
Aunt May.
yeah, to join the National Guard. He got into the National Guard, took one step forward in the Army of the United States. He went over into France. He would write letters home, wrote good letters. He told about he could hear the German shells going over, so forth. But he said, I know none of them have my name on them. And he came back. Shortly after he got back, he joined the Pinkerton outfit. Excitement again.
Right.
That's what he was. Always had excitement. And during this coal strike down in Benton, Illinois,
Yes.
when you were lucky to stay alive, he went down there as carrying the money to the strip miners from up north who were not in the same union as the miners were. So they were allowed to strip coal, see, strip mine and sell the coal. The coal miners, after a certain length of time, realized that they were being made, and they decided, well, let's stop this. So one time, my cousin, Sidney, who was driving a reconnaissance car, and I believe 2 others, maybe 3 others, was taking money into strip miners. On the way there, they shot him as a driver. The thing went off the road, and the other 3 fellow guards with him got out and was making a run for the woods. They left Sidney for dead along the ditch road. They caught the other 3 and put him behind a car and drug him into town. Killed him, see, dragged him. When they found out that Cousin Sidney was still alive in the hospital, they were going to burn the place down, but they got him.
They were ready to get him.
Federal guards got him onto a train and sent him into Chicago. He went into Chicago and he was there, I don't know whether a year or not, quite a while. And he's paralyzed with the waist down, and he died with gangrene and bed sores, see. He and the nurse got familiar, and he left a daughter which lived with Aunt May.
Aunt May in the story again.
Yeah.
Dad, you said it was your cousin. What's the relationship? Was this one of your mother's or father's?
Oh, it was Aunt May's son.
Okay.
Sidney was Aunt May's son by her first marriage.
Okay.
His name was Morrison. Later on, she married a young Italian tailor named Chapetta. I don't know what happened to Morrison, whether he got a divorce or what.
Stacy, do you want to come back to Ann Arbor?
Thinking that, oh, I was going to say, I was thinking, Pat told me to mention one other thing, and I remember too, when we were going out to when you were taking Sean and Nick and I to Idaho, we stopped to visit a relative of yours, I believe, that had arthritis so bad, and I can
Oh.
remember the room and how
I
they
don't
had to...
exactly know how we got down there. My uncle Walter,
Who would have been...
my dad's brother.
Okay.
Oh, and he was the one, my dad made the run in opening up the
Okay.
Cherokee Strip,
Uh-huh.
and so they were always close to each other. So we went down to see Uncle Walter, and under Uncle Walter had been suffering with arthritis for years, and he couldn't get out of bed, and his wife, Grace, had her hands full of taking care of him and running the house and everything else. Well, he's quite enterprising. He had a dozen boats going to pulleys all over that house. He could pull his urinal up, tow it up there, and writing tablets and papers and things. He was,
Did he design this himself?
Yeah.
You said he did, okay.
and we stopped there, and he told Evelyn was interested in family history. Some of the family history I didn't even know about, just little things. But he spent a number of years just getting family history. And I think maybe I told you, after I started looking for family history, Sean got interested to help me.
Right.
He wrote down to Topeka, Kansas, get what history he could of the Dalrymples. And we found out that my name and Evelyn's and 4 of my children, including you, see, was on the,
He kept up that much.
yeah, he'd written up and sent it down there. I didn't know anything about it. Wes's his history, his first wife, I guess only wife, in fact, and after, I guess they got a divorce, but they had one kid, and Wes said it wasn't his. And I said, told him about it. He said, by God, I'm going to write down there and get that, straighten them out on that. I said, you do that. They're looking for stuff like that. Nothing ever wrote the letter, but they do.
That's
You
right.
can disclaim anything you want to, and they'll accept it. They put their files.
That's right.
I know
It makes a better story, doesn't it?
my grandmother's father, who was a notary public down there, Abilene. Eisenhower's hometown.
Uh-huh.
We was looking up that, and one of the kids had written a story about the old man wouldn't take care of him, and pretty sad story. And there was another story from another kid told me he done remarkable well at the time.
I see.
Yeah,
It's good.
both stories in there.
That's good.
Yeah.
You should have both stories in there.
Yeah,
You should.
part of history.
Mm-hmm.
Back in those days, a woman's role was secondary. You kept track of the man, his family, history lay on down. And one granddad's sister's named Martha, and so she sat down and wrote a letter telling about the family. What did she write? About her husband, the children, and practically didn't even mention herself.
That's right.
It just wasn't customary.
That's right. Those are really interesting letters to get a hold of. You said that you had read part of that one diary of...
In the history of the 112th Regiment, let's see,
They mentioned...
the buddy, granddad's buddy,
Uh-huh.
they decided at a reunion of the year to write a story. And they contacted all the living members and had them contribute something. For some reason, there was at least 2 diaries. And that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Granddad apparently never sent his diary. He was out in Kansas at the time, probably didn't even go to the meeting. But
So we don't know if it's still around anywhere or not.
yeah. Oh well, we think his diary went to Isaac Dalrymple, one of the third son of the third son. My granddad's third son was named Isaac, and that was customary for about 4 generations.
Mm-hmm.
And they always had 3 sons at least. And he moved down to, I believe, Galveston, Texas, and he was blown up in that ship that flew up along the coast. And maybe his wife got the diary.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that story. Can't pick it up.
Yeah. That's got over to the other side of the family. Up another branch, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere. Yeah. I've read many papers that people have written on their families, and exactly like you say, they'll talk about their home in detail, their kids in detail, their husbands in detail. And it takes you a long time to realize it's the wife writing it because, like you said, she and when she refers to herself, a lot of times she might refer to herself as Mrs. with her husband's name, as if it was a second party even writing it.
See, I think there was Granddad, when it went to the Civil War, was the third son. There was one son later on named David. So I don't know whether 4 sons and 2, 3 daughters, but at least 2 of the daughters migrated to Kansas. Their husbands homesteaded. But damn, we just don't have any more history, right? Except word of mouth. See?
Right. Right.
Grant Dalrymple was a son of the son of my granddad's brother. He was claiming all the land he could along the Solomon River. Started out with cornrows a half mile long. He said in a few years he brought up another half section, had cornrows a mile long. And he said, by God, my ambition is to get cornrows 2 miles long because they lived along the Solomon River. And there's no bridges there, see. But he never got that, but he did have a mile on this side, a mile on that side. And the story goes, he said, you can't make any money turning around at the end of the roads to go back.
So he was going to have them long.
Yeah, he'd go down the end of the road, eat dinner, and back and go home to supper.
And he had to have a big family to help him work those long rows of corn.
Yeah, they all had big families. Granddad had 4 boys and 2 girls. And that was kind of a sample of most of the families. David Dalrymple, I told you about the youngest one.
Yes.
He went to Kansas, the rest of them. And one night he was in town, and when he came home, his horse came home, empty saddled, and they found him dead along the river there. Either robbed or got in an argument down at the saloon or something. We thought maybe he might, since his 3 of his brothers had been in the Civil War, he was trying to be tough too.
Yeah.
Younger brother. And he had at least 3 children, which I got wind of in like when I was looking at the family history.
You've told us about grandfathers and people that have fought in wars and things, but you went into the military yourself after you got through college.
Well, yeah, when I went to college, the first 2 years in Kansas State was required. ROTC was required. The next 2 years was optional. Well, I took the next 2 years, maybe not because of some patriotic desire, but I got $9 a month.
And that helped.
And $9 a month at the end of a semester would pay my tuition to re-enter college the next semester. And my uniform was furnished, so I used that to go hiking and so forth. And, of course, I followed it up, stayed active in the ROTC, and after I graduated from college, went to Illinois, and there reared my family, and I stayed active, as I said before, in military. I joined the Illinois National Guard. I was in it 6 years until I had to get out because I couldn't be in anti-aircraft and National Guard at the same time because you can't have two masters. Well,